Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry I'm not here with you. I'm going to do the best that I can to help you work through this lesson. So I'm going to start on page 11. If you want to get on page 11 here, these are the couple examples that we did as a class last week. Um, Here we needed two numbers that added up to 8 and multiplied to positive 7, and those magic numbers were 1 and 7. So what we did is we took x squared and 7, put those in these squares, and then those magic numbers 1x, 7x. It doesn't matter where I put them. And then I just went ahead and I found the greatest common factor of each row and each column, and I'm taking the sign with it. So positive 7 plus 7, positive 1 plus 1, and my factors were x plus 1 times x plus 7. Then I changed this one to x squared plus 8x plus 15. Same idea. I need numbers that add to 8, multiply together to 15. Those magic numbers are 3 and 5. So I set up the square, x squared, 15, and then I have my magic numbers 3x and 5x in here. Found the greatest common factor of each row in each column to get the x plus 5 times x plus 3. So what I'm going to want you to do right now is take a look at this trinomial, x squared plus 10x plus 24, if I could do that. And I want you to pause the video, work through this, and then come back and let's go over it. So here's what I need to do. I need two numbers that add to 10, multiply to 24. So if I use my sheet here, add to 10. Well, I have 8 and 3. Those don't add to 10. I do have 12 and 2. 12 and 2 don't add to 10. They subtract to 10, but not add to 10. 6 and 4. 6 and 4 are going to add up to 10. So magic numbers are going to be 6 and 4. So I have my square, x squared in the top left, 24 in the bottom right, and my numbers 6 and 4. It doesn't matter where I put the 6 and the 4, 6x and 4x. So now I'm finding the greatest common factor of this first row. The smallest exponent on the x's is a 1, so this is going to be x to the first. 4, 24 is divisible by 4. 4 is divisible by 4, so this is x plus 4. For this column, x to the second, x to the first, smallest exponent is x to the first. 6, 24 is divisible by 6. 6 is divisible by 6. So the factors of this trinomial are x plus 4 times x plus 6. So that's as basic as it's going to get as far as the signs go. Very just simple, straightforward, x plus, and there we have it. So I'm going to switch up the signs and we're going to kind of do the same thing. All right, let me just get a scrap sheet of paper. And you can draw, like you can cross these out, or you can actually, why don't we just do this? Flip it over on page 12. That's going to be even easier. We'll do some of the work on page 12. We're not going to do any of this, so I'm just kind of do that on page 12. If I take a look at x squared plus 10x minus 24, almost the same exact question that you just did. Almost. You'll notice now I have a minus 24. So I still need numbers that add to 10, multiply to negative 24. But really, when I talk about adding to 10, one number is going to be positive, one's going to be negative, because in order to get a negative, I need a positive times a negative gives me a negative. I need one positive, one negative number. So really what I need to focus on is numbers that subtract to give me 10, because this is a minus. Subtract to give me 10. So when I go back through those factors of 24, 6 minus 4, they're 2 apart. 8 minus 3, they're 5 apart. 12 minus 2, they're 10 apart. These are going to be my magic numbers here, the 12 and the 2. Now, it can be confusing because 6 and 4, those add up to 10, but they'd have to be the same sign. So my magic numbers here are going to be 12 and 2. I need one of them to be a negative. If the bigger number is going to be positive, if I end up with a positive 10, so this is going to be a positive 12 and a negative 2. Now you're going to notice my process that I follow is exactly the same as what I've been doing. So I draw my square. The first term goes in the top left. The second term goes in the bottom right. And my magic numbers go in 12x, negative 2x. I do bring the sign with it. I'm still going to follow my greatest common factors here. So when I do that, I have x, 2. 24 is divisible by 2. So the greatest common factor here is 2, but I'm going to bring the sign with it. So this is going to be an x minus 2. GCF of this column is x. Again, you take the smallest exponent if they're shared for the variables. X to the second, x to the first. Here, 12. 24 is divisible by 12, as is 12. That's going to be the greatest common factor. So my factors are x plus 12 times x minus 2. And that's going to be my solution. One positive, one negative. So let me hit you with the same thing here. X squared minus, let's say, 5x minus 24. So we're sticking with the negative 24. I need numbers that add up to negative 5 multiplied to negative 24. Again, the only way I'm getting a negative when I multiply is if I have a positive times a negative. So really I need to think about the number subtracting to give me this negative 5. So as I sneeze, I'm going to focus on numbers that are 5 apart or subtract to give me 5. So when I'm looking at the factors of 24, 6 and 4, those subtract to give me 2, 8 and 3. They're 5 apart, though they subtract to give me 5. So those are going to be my magic numbers, 8 and 3. Difference here is I need them to add up to this negative. So the negative needs to go with the larger of the two numbers. So same process as always. I take the first part, x squared minus 24. My magic numbers, negative 8x, 3x. Go in the other two squares. And then it's just a point of finding greatest common factors. X positive 3, x negative 8. Because 24 is divisible by 8, 8 is divisible by 8. 24 is divisible by 3, 3 is divisible by 3. Bring the sign closest. So this factors to x minus 8 times x plus 3, and that is my solution. Okay. So let's flip back to page 11. You may be running out of room, and that's okay. I'm going to give you 2 more to do. These, I want you to pause the video and practice. Let's go k squared. It doesn't matter if it's x, k, none of that matters what letter it actually is. Let's go k squared minus, let's actually do plus 4k minus 32. And then let's cross this one out and replace it with x squared minus 6x minus 40. So at this point, what I want you to do is use your green multiplication chart for your factors that you need for these 2 questions. Pause the video and work through these 2 questions. If you have questions, ask in class, get the help that you need. All right, so pause the video and work through these 2 and then replay it when you're ready to see the solutions. Okay, here I need numbers that add to 4 multiplied to negative 32. So essentially, I need them to have opposite signs, which means I really need them to subtract to 4. So when I find 32 here, 32 is here, 8 and 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. These are the magic numbers I need. This ends up a positive 4, so the bigger number is going to be positive, smaller number is going to be negative. So I set up my square. I have k squared minus 32. Magic numbers, 8k minus 4k. Does not matter where you put the 8 and the negative 4. GCFs are going to be k, negative 4, k, and 8, positive 8. So my solution here is k plus 8 times k minus 4. Those are the factors. Next one, I'm looking at add to negative 6, multiply to negative 40. So I have multiples of 40 here. I have 10 and 4. Well, because it's a negative 40, I really need them to subtract to give me 6. 10 minus 4 is 6. So 10 and 4 are the magic numbers. I need the larger number to be negative. So the negative is going to go with the 10. And I'm going to end up with here x squared minus 40 minus 10x plus 4x. Doing the GCF work, x, 4, x, negative 10. This should be a plus 4. Factors to x minus 10, x plus 4. And that's going to be my solution. The very last scenario we're going to look at is if we have a negative and a positive. So if I have x squared minus, let's go minus 6x plus 12. Well, the only way I can get numbers to add up to a negative and multiply it to a positive is if I have a negative times a negative. A negative times a negative equals a positive. So what I'm going to do here, now I really need numbers that multiply to 12 to add to 6. Add to 6. I'm talking about 4 and 3. Those add up to 7. 6 and 2. Those add up to 8. I messed up this problem. This should be minus 7x. Minus 7x. So I need numbers that add up to 7 that multiply to 12. That's what I was trying to go for here. So I'm talking about 4 and 3 as the magic numbers, but they both need to be negative. So here I'd be looking at x squared plus 12 minus 4x minus 3x. Going through my GCFs, x minus 4, x minus 3. So my factors are x minus 3 times x minus 4, and that's my solution. Okay, let's flip back over to page 12. If you're running out of room, you could just grab a scrap sheet of paper from the back of the room. All right, I'm just going to create another problem here. Again, I don't care what part A is. Let's do x squared minus 8x plus 7. X squared minus 8x plus 7. So I need numbers that add to 8 multiplied to 7. Only way I'm adding to a negative and multiplying to a positive, we just talked about. So at this point, you pause the video, you work through the question, come back when you're ready. So here goes. The only factors of 7 are 7 and 1. It's a prime number. So they both need to be negative signs, as we talked about previously. So this is going to turn into x squared plus 7, numbers minus 7x minus 1x. GCFs, x minus 1, x minus 7. So my factors are x minus 7 times x minus 1. At this point, what you need to do is you need to take the pink quiz. The pink quiz. And on the pink quiz, you need to do questions 1, 4, and 7. 1, 4, and 7. All right, so take the time that you need to get those 3 questions done. When you're done with those, then watch the second video that I'm going to post on the agenda.